Also, the news under, I guess you would say bad news, but I guess it's better to at least admit the bad news than be surprised. There was a study that showed that the quality of life, the satisfaction of residents has declined again and is at a 9-year low in Los Angeles. And what's interesting is the major issue Los Angeles have is economic. It's not crime. It's not what could be a lot of other things. It really is just that everything costs so much. And that's what's driving people to move somewhere else. So, and again, I'm not a big fan of UCLA. If you know me, I think we should make the whole thing into condos or affordable housing. But there you are, the 9-year low and declining. And I think that explains one reason why so many Los Angelinos are moving to other states. One of the factors that makes it harder for people to buy houses overall, as talked about a lot, is student loans. And it's interesting, Chase is a company that you would think as a bank, their responsibility would be to help taxpayers. You know, they take taxpayer money to exist and use it and use the benefits of it. And you would think somewhere along the line, they'd be required to do something that helps American citizens. They don't. But it was interesting that Jamie Dimon, their chairman, and really one of the real forces of evil, I'm actually writing an entire podcast on my Real Estate Ripoffs podcast about him. But he said the quiet part out loud that nobody really wants to say, which is it doesn't really matter what you study when you're in college. Now, obviously, there's exceptions, medicine and sciences and things. But he's talking about in general for business practices. And what that is a condemnation of the education in our college system, right? People spend 4 years and $100,000 or more to get an education. He's saying it doesn't matter what you study. It also, I guess, would mean it doesn't matter where you study. And the question that I like to ask him, does it matter that you study at all in college, or might you be better off? My assessment for most people in non-technical skills, not doctors, not engineers, but most people in general business, they'd be way better off spending 4 years in a real business, learning the business. At the end of 4 years, they have experience, knowledge of an industry in depth. And they learn more, I believe, actually doing the work than they do in college, working on spreadsheets and such. So it's just interesting of all people that Jamie Dimon would say that part out loud, since he's such a part of the political class that has, I think, encouraged people to take on massive debt. I also found interesting when I looked into the details, how college debt has been declining so much. It peaked in 2010-11 at $152 billion. And is now down to 98 billion. So it's come down about 30-40%, the total amount lent. Most every other business has gone up nonstop in that time period or stayed flat. And so it does tell you that there were abuses of the system and they've been reeled in. And it does, I think, indicate some point to students who feel they've been taken advantage of, where loans were given out frivolously. I mean, here you have the chairman of JP Morgan saying it doesn't matter where you study. Then, obviously somebody who spent a lot of money to get an Ivy League education in some sort of unimpactful department would have grounds for being frustrated or upset. I don't know that I would justify forgiving the money. If you agree to take it, you should be responsible for it. I don't think that sends the right message at all. But it is fascinating that our political class is really backing away from the importance of college, and saying that out loud, I think, is a very interesting study.